Alright, so let's get to the unboxing of the Realme X2 Pro. So this is the box that it comes in. This is the retail packaging that Realme has sent us. As you can see, similar, we have the phone in the front, a few highlighted features, and some further information at the back. So quickly, let's pop this case open. Okay, so firstly we have, hey, welcome to the Realme family, a little greeting, and let's embrace a new journey. So let's pop this little packet open, and first off we have some information about the phone, warranty quick start guide essentially, and then we have this silicone case. Let's keep this aside, and this is the Realme X2 Pro, sorry. So this is the Neptune blue color version, I presume. Yeah, this is the Neptune blue, but it's also going to be available in Luna white. So we'll keep this aside for now. Let's quickly take a look at what else is in the box. So next up we have the USB Type-C cable. Pretty standard stuff. Let's see, we have the SIM eject tool over here, and last but not least we have a Super Vooc charger. So the Realme X2 Pro supports Super Vooc charging, which is a 50-watt charger. This is a 50-watt adapter, and according to Realme, it should be able to charge the phone completely in about 35 minutes, and that's pretty much all you get in the box of the Realme X2 Pro. So let's keep this aside for now and take a closer look at the phone. Alright, so this is the Realme X2 Pro in the flesh. This is the Neptune blue color variant. It looks really nice. Depends on how light reflects on it. It gets a lighter shade of blue, and at some angles it does look almost black, but it's a pretty nice effect. This is Gorilla Glass 5 at the back that Realme has used, and you also get Gorilla Glass 5 on the front of the display as well. Let's take a quick tour around the phone while we power this up. So on the side we have the power button over here with a little touch of gold. We have the volume buttons on the opposite side. Up at the top there's nothing but a microphone hole, and down at the bottom is where we have all the ports. So here you have a headphone jack, we have a USB Type-C port, and we also have a speaker. And the Realme X2 Pro does support stereo speakers, so the earpiece and this bottom speaker work in conjunction to give you a stereo effect, which is really nice. Now the sides have a matte finish and it looks pretty nice. We're kind of happy that it's not glossy, so it's just that much easier to keep clean. And at the back we have this new repositioned Realme logo. I think the company is trying something new here to differentiate itself, which is interesting. And we have a quad camera setup once again. Now we'll just take a quick tour of what these sensors are. So we start off with the main 64 megapixel sensor. This is followed by an 8 megapixel wide angle camera. So one of these is a wide angle camera, which also doubles up as a super macro camera. So this sensor does double duty over here. We also have a 13 megapixel telephoto camera that's capable of 2x optical zoom and about, I think, a 5x hybrid zoom and a total of 20x digital zoom. So we have a telephoto lens here, and we also have a depth camera. Okay, so let's quickly go through the setup of the phone, and then we will go through the rest of the specifications. Okay, so we've just quickly set up the Realme X2 Pro, and let's just take a look at the display itself. So we now have a much wider display in the sense the bezels are a lot slimmer, the notch is a lot slimmer, so the curves in the corners of the display are not very pronounced, and also the notch is a lot smaller, so it just gives you a sense of more screen. Now this is a 6.5 inch Full HD Plus display. It's Super AMOLED, and it also has Gorilla Glass like I mentioned, And it's since being an AMOLED display, you also get an in-display fingerprint sensor since there's nothing at the back. So that is pretty neat. But the big change, and a very important change, is that this is a 90 Hz display. And if we dig into the display settings, you can actually set this to what you want. So if you look at this setting over here, you can either select 60 Hz or 90 Hz depending on what you want. Next, coming to some of the specifications of the phones, this is Realme's flagship offering, and like any flagship offering, this one has a Snapdragon 855 Plus SoC. Now, Realme is offering two variants of the phone. So there's going to be one with 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage, which is this unit here. And you also have a higher end variant, which will have 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage. Now, Realme says that both these variants being sold in India will come with UFS 3.0 storage. So that's a big bonus and very nice to see. Let's quickly pop the SIM tray open and see if we can expand the storage. You can't expand the storage, so you only have 2 nano SIM slots over here, as there's no slot for a micro SD card, which is, again, with 128 GB is decent enough, so that's really not a huge complaint. Coming to the battery, we have a 4000 milliampere battery inside, and like I mentioned earlier, it does support 50 watt Super Vooc fast charging, which Realme promises a full charge in just about 35 minutes, which is pretty cool. Now, we have a selfie camera tucked away in the notch over here, and this is a 16 megapixel sensor. Now, in terms of software, this is still running on Android 9, and this one has ColorOS 6.1, which also adds some new interesting features. So for starters, we also have, finally, we have digital well-being and parental controls that's been added to Realme phones, and there's also a dark mode somewhere around here. Let me see if I can find it. Yep, so it's in the lab section, which is, I'm guessing it's still in beta. So you can enable dark mode here on the Realme phone, which is pretty cool. So a couple of things that we didn't mention is that the phone also supports NFC, and in India, Realme says that they have added support for Google Pay as well. Also, the stereo speakers support Dolby Atmos, so that should